I've been listening to this guy on my way to Lake Oswego High School back when I was younger. It's pretty amazing to be here talking to him now, I gotta say.
I didn't know that. Since I became aware of you a few months ago from my friend Carney, by the way, right here. She sent me the information on you, and I was like, he's from Bend. I was like, oh, amazing, he's from Bend. But that's not totally true. Bend is one of your homes, but what's the timeline of your life?
Man, Bend briefly, mostly West Lynn. Growing up, West Lynn, Oregon. I'm not sure how many of y'all know. They say 20 minutes south. Yeah.
Where's our Clackamas County people? Yeah. There's some.
There we go. Yeah. So mostly West Lynn. Bend for middle school for a little while, and then back to West Lynn. I went to Lake Oswego High School, and then I went back to Bend before moving to Nashville, where I am now. So I kind of claim several cities as my hometown, but the important thing is my home state is Oregon.
Right, or born and raised, right?
Born and raised.
This is my people right here, and I'm so happy that you're like getting some national credit here, because like the list of people who are famous and successful from Oregon is vanishingly small. I don't know if you guys realize this. I just saw one of those maps online where it says like the most famous act from each state. And like Indiana is Michael Jackson, and like Mississippi's Elvis Presley, and Oklahoma's Garth Brooks. Do you know who like the Oregon is? Take a guess. You guys? That's right. Everclear.
Wow.
Show of hands, how many people have never heard of Everclear? Huge number of people have never even heard. Yeah, really?
No, don't call me out though. Just let them see it.
But be honest, like you know who Everclear is?
No.
Yeah. That's the most famous act from Oregon.
My Oregonian of choice is Matt Carney. Does anybody know Matt Carney?
Hey, Matt Carney.
Okay.
There's a significant number of people who don't even know how to say his last name. He's a great act. He's great. But I'm saying that the ladder to the top is very short. So we all need to get behind this man right here. He could not only be one of the forefathers of music in Oregon, but the godfather of music in Oregon. With very little effort from all of us, right? All right. We're going to do our part as radio stations, both 98.7 The Bull and 101 KINK. They can do it. We can get them to the top with little effort. Y'all on board?
I'll try to represent us well.
You'll do the hard work?
I'll do all of it, yeah.
I already love this
You just put my voice on the radio, and I'll do the rest.
We'll do our part, and you just do yours. So let's talk about it a little bit. So you're in Nashville, but you moved there, what, about a year ago-ish?
Yeah, not even. Maybe 9 months.
And you haven't even spent that much time.
No. In music or in Nashville?
In Nashville.
Yeah, not much at all. 2 weeks after I moved to Nashville, I went on my first opening tour. So from there, I was gone for 35 days, and then I got back for, I believe, 8, and then I was gone again for another 17. And so the months have been, I'd say probably 40 to 30% of my time in Nashville has been spent in Nashville. It's been a crazy ride.
Right. And so you're not like talking funny or anything like that?
No, not yet. My mom notices a few things. Like,
what have you picked up?
I can't even like say which words I've learned to say differently. It's just like when you're surrounded by people with country accents, you sometimes it slips through. Right. And so my mom will be like, you just said that like a Nashville person. Nashvilleian.
Yeah.
I don't notice it, but she does.
Right. I notice, like the culture of Oregon versus Nashville. I call this, I'm going to be taking, just so you know, Oregon people, I'm going to be taking a lot of shots at Nashville people here, just because we're amongst our people here, and I don't get to do this very often. But I call it the bless your heart culture, where they're polite out here, but down deep, you know, it's a different kind of thing. They wear a lot of masks in the Bible.
You can't quote me on that.
No.
That's not me saying that. That is him saying that.
Turn the cameras off for just a second.
I live there.
Yeah. He's trying to make roads. How are they treating you, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Good. I actually just recently moved to Franklin, which is just south of Nashville. And that's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's kind of, when I'm home from tour, I don't really want to be in the heart of everything. I want to be alone, probably playing video games or sleeping. And so, I moved down to Franklin. It's just kind of a detached, comfort area that I really, really enjoy. So, but Nashville served me wonderfully. I lived in West Nashville for about 8 months, and then just this last month I moved. So,
and there's a lot of hustle culture there. Like, you really need to be working the circuit.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. I remember, I always tell this story when I was deciding. For a brief moment, I moved to California when I turned 21. And I didn't last long there. But I started street performing there, and I started to enter into the music space. And when I was deciding where to go after California when I couldn't afford it, I was choosing between Bend, Oregon, or Nashville. And when I visited Nashville for the first time, I went to Broadway, and I promise you I would have quit music if I would have gone there before I went to Bend, because I had to hone in my own brand, my Oregon home. I had to start there because there's so many amazing talents over there, and they're on every corner. Every waiter and waitress is more talented than you are. so I think I would have quit if I would have moved to Nashville right then. But thankfully, because I was able to channel that Oregon home, I feel I was able to brand myself and my music and sing from the heart. So I think that made a huge difference.
I think this is so fun that you're here, particularly in front of this audience, because this, as you've noticed, and it's not something we do very often here, but this is a co-show, so it's 98.7 The Bolt, but we also have Kink listeners here because both stations are playing you. And there's a dynamic there because your music doesn't neatly fit into either category, and I think it's not something that we want to pigeonhole you in, and I know you feel the same way. It's not necessarily, if you had to label yourself, you wouldn't do it unless you were forced to.
I always talk about the people that influenced me. Whenever I get that question, it's always, who influenced me. So, Matt Carney, Jack Johnson, John Foreman, Ray LaMontagne, Noah Kahan, Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers. I just list all the different people that have influenced my music, because I don't walk into a room, or I don't sit down and want to write a song and think, what am I trying to fit this into? What genre am I singing for? And I think I was raised on a lot of country music, and then in high school, obviously, you guys, the music you were playing, and so I think that's where kind of the country sound comes from in a lot of my songs. My dad grew up in a ranch community in Hollister, California, so country is what I was raised on, and then kind of Oregon folk music is kind of the blend, I would say.
Oregon folk.
Yeah.
This is good to see the godfather of Oregon folk right here. And that's forgive me if this gets a little deep, but that's going to be frustrating for a lot of fans, for us to not be able to have the vocab to figure out what to put you in. And particularly from those of us in our business, we're a country music station, and we're a hard country music station. Mm-hmm. And so we want to label you as country, even though that's not what you want to do. It's in our our best interest to put you there.
Yeah.
And if we're going to hand you a CMA, we want you to go thank you for this country music award.
Yeah. Well, I never. It's a two-way street. I both don't claim to be one genre, but I also don't claim that I'm not a genre, because I believe that it's both dependent on the song, and just the genres I think you can be in several at once. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I feel like I fit.
And I think it's lucky that you are coming up at a time where you can do it. You can blaze a trail up the middle. In the old days, you would have never made it.
No,
you
never,
had to
never.
Pick a lane.
No, the country the country I was listening to in high school was very different than the country now. The country I was raised on is different than the country now, because it's not in a bad way or good way. It's just larger. There's country adjacent. There's I see Noah Kahan on country lists, and I'm like, I guess he's country, But I think that there have been people that have blazed the trail for me, and so I think without them, without the Zach Bryans and the Noah Kahns, the kind of nebulous country space that has opened up, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
And speaking of that, those people who find you on social media and stuff, I know your social media has been a great tool for you getting your music out. How do you manage it? How do you make sure that you aren't spending all your time doing this? What's the mechanism? How do you stop?
It was very difficult for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't stop, because you think it's just only a good thing. And you learn that kind of too much of anything can be a bad thing, and one negative comment can wipe your brain of 100 good comments.
You're so vulnerable.
Yeah. When you're writing honest and emotional songs, you kind of put yourself out there as a target, and so you get a lot of comments that might seem pretty personal for someone that doesn't know who you are, but it's because you release personal music, So. Definitely just my girlfriend in Kentucky helps me post, and then we just neither of us even look at the post. We're just like, all right, if it does good, it does good. If it does bad, it does bad. But let's not let it dominate our mental for the next few days.
Okay, so let's make a deal. For those of us who are in the audience here, your job is to do the posts, the comment section. That's our job. All right, we gotta get up there. We gotta come to fight. If somebody starts picking on them, that's our job.
In fact, the more fights you start in my comment sections, the better. That's engagement.
Yeah.
That's,
You guys know how it works.
yeah.
Don't make him do it. He's the artist. We got to come in and be the army.
Yeah.
All right? Does that work for you?
Yeah.
You list us to help out?
Yeah.
Feel like playing some more music for us?
I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Max McNown, let's hear it.